Welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I appreciate your subscribe. If you're a crew here, you already know how we vibe. Do remember, sharing is daring to wake someone up out of the matrix. So share this content with someone you want to see on the other side of this simulation. Now, you know I love it when you hit the like button. Do it for the algorithm. That way, I'll grow with them. Now let's watch these clips.
So this is part 5 of how I use Hudo to get approved for any apartment I want. What you see me doing in this video.
Why haven't you used Hudo to change this goddamn smoke detector battery? Jesus Christ, you lazy. Yeah, so this is just witchcraft. So if you run into a chick that's on some tarot stuff, like I ran into a girl like that, but she kind of went her own way, because when she came on the date, my wife, but then there was another girl there too. But then when I met her, my wife was right there next to me, and she said, "Who's this?" I said, "Oh, that's my gypsy." So she must have thought, "Oh, that's his personal gypsy." No, bitch, my wife's name is Gypsy.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
Who wants to pray to the devil with me? Who's in with me? Come on, hey, let me see those horns. Let me see those horns. Metal.
I saw this live. Also, I think it's important to mention that this was always synonymous with rock and roll. So that's why he said metal. Rock and roll was doing that. And we in hip hop, in the world really, we knew that rock and roll was like the devil and all of that stuff. Anyway, just a fun tidbit from the dinosaur age.
Dear Dark Lord Satan, hope everything's good with you. I'm doing fine myself. Just want to say hi and ask you to grant tonight's nominees continued success in the music industry. How's that?
Metal. Very metal.
Thank you.
She thought the clowns were just props inside the haunted house until...
Check this out. I'm gonna give you guys a little bonus. Alright, that's about as raunchy as I'm gonna get.
You belong to me. Way down along the street. How very sweet it would seem.
Look how the clown she kissed turned his head, now looking at her. Unless she did that herself with some clever editing, I don't know who's in the back there with her, but it's always funny until a monster bites your face off.
It's time for me to show you the scariest books that I have in the bookstore. Here goes. We're going to start out with a 225-year-old grimoire, or a book of spells. What about this Japanese ghost scroll from the early 1800s? This is 6 feet long, and that is a ghost scroll. What about this penny dreadful copy of Frankenstein? Originally printed in 1818, this is in the late 1800s, is the first abridged version of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Let's keep going. Okay, back to witches. Malleus Maleficarum, or Hammer of the Witches. This is the most sinister book ever printed on witchcraft. It is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people between 1500 and 1750. Malleus Maleficarum, or Hammer of the Witches.
You know what's the scariest thing about those books? Reading them.
The video I'm about to show you shows a skier hitting a rock and then falling down a 1,000-foot slope in Aspen, Colorado. And here it is.
Why are we skiing again? Don't be careful. Done it. Yep, there you go. He's gone. That was so anticlimactic. I thought he was gonna fall off of the mountain. I'm sorry, y'all.
Get your food! Who? Get in the car? Nay.
Already the way he... See, a lot of people forgot this happened. You could tell it's a problem. One, I'm saying, why are you arguing with this woman? You know what? Let's just go back down the memory pipe.
Get your food! Who? Get in the car? Who? Nay. Get your food! Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Talking about what? Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Now, I had to stop it there because I knew what was gonna happen. That's not funny that he hit her. I think I'm laughing because he was about to hit her again. Why was you about to do that, bro? Oh my God. Oh, geez, black people. Well, let's go to the next clip. These, man. This is the creepy part for me. Who are you to stop these women from girl bossing? What about women's empowerment? Are you going to tell me those women are being manipulated? Maybe those women wanted to be with those men. How dare you, feminist, tell this woman you're not old enough to use your powers because I said so? Who decides when a woman is old enough to use her girl powers? Couldn't be the patriarchy. Because how dare the patriarchy stop this woman from knowing she's powerful enough to wield her powers of femininity or masculinity, whichever one she wants to use.
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
I mean, who likes people with a lot of baggage? Who signs up for a lot of baggage? Like, yo, you got a lot of baggage. Come over here. Yo, you got a lot of baggage. Like, no, like, who does that?
The man has a point. Could it be that these older women are just mad because you had your chance to girl boss? You blew it. You didn't want to be married. Now you got sour grapes. And you can't really show that you're mad at the other woman because you really are. So you have to project and pretend that you're mad at the guys. The patriarchy is somehow stopping these women. I don't have a girl that's 14 years old, so whatever. My wife is 10 years younger than me, but I met her when she was 23.
What you're seeing here is the pattern of electromagnetism. This pattern creates the symbol of the seed of life. Everything is generated through electromagnetism. The electromagnetic torus field is the true atom of this physical universe. Looking down on this torus field, you would see the seed of life, which is the seed of creation. They tell you this is the real atom because they want you to believe the universe is only physical. It's actually holographic. Everything physical comes from the metaphysical, spiritual side of creation. The ancients understood this but were not being taught electromagnetism today because it exposes the true cosmology of Earth. This is why you see Jesus pointing at his heart, because your heart is a vortex which produces this electromagnetic field around your body. This can be manipulated through emotion, which is energy in motion. Your emotions shouldn't be reactive. They are a creational force to manipulate energy and your electromagnetic field. They've lied about everything.
Wait. Run that back right quick.
This can be manipulated through emotion, which is energy in motion. Your emotions shouldn't be reactive. They are a creational force to manipulate energy and your electromagnetic field.
That's interesting because I've long believed that women have powers over emotion. They can take the emotional temperature of the household. You ever notice if your wife is upset, the whole house is upset? And what do we do as men? We're trying to problem solve. We want to make sure there's no problem. We don't want, what do they say, happy wife, happy life? But if your wife is happy, the whole house is happy too, trickling all the way down to the kids. Yeah, women have very strong powers of emotion. I can't even get all into that because I'm sure YouTube is going to demonetize me for saying this, but powers of emotion, energy in motion, that's dope. Anyway, one of us in a relationship gotta have that knowledge.
If you had 10,000 to your name, what would you do to spin that around?
I would take $2,000 and I would open up an e-commerce brand, Shopify and Oberlo. I would either do it myself or hire someone like on Fiverr to find a drop shipper like an Oberlo that has them in stock, pay my $29 to Shopify and make this e-commerce site, pay someone on Fiverr $50 to create the site and make sure it all plugs into the back end of my drop shipper. And then I would take another $2,000 and run test ads. So I'd have that cooking and I'd give that at least 5 to 7 days to see how ads perform and then just, again, pump money into the ad that works. So I'd hope to have recurring revenue on that because you can sell 24 hours a day.
Take her, that knowledge, and your passport. Go overseas. Forget about it.
There's a huge hole in the ground in China where they discovered this entire, totally separate ecology. And the geology is totally separate from what's above land. And there's light, there's trees and forests and lakes and rivers and all this stuff down there. And yes, it's real. As a matter of fact, there's a few places like that on Earth. There's another one down in South America. Now these things exist. The one I was trying to go to was a 4-hour hike to get there. And 4-hour hike, and then you have to, it's very, very rugged terrain. And then you have to rappel about 200 meters into this opening in the earth, and then you land in an area where there's an actual beach. Underground, there's a beach, okay? And then it's got its own system down there. Forests, jungles, there's light that gets down there, animals that live down there and everything else. So there are these giant openings in the earth that open up. No, not a hollow earth, but you gotta realize the mass of the earth itself allows for massive openings in areas that can hold maybe even millions of people, because we only live on the outside surface, the skin. There's so much mass on this planet, in terms of the depth that it has. In there are huge openings that go on for hundreds of miles, sometimes maybe even for thousands of miles. These honeycomb-shaped openings that life exists down there.
We know that's at least partially true because of the government drilling their little holes into the earth. What was that? A person? No. Why was the ride still going? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's your age? 43.
Damn!
Are you single? I'm single. I'm 43. What's the youngest girl you'd date? I mean, I wouldn't date anybody less than 18. What do you mean by that?
He mean he wouldn't date nobody younger than 18. What do you mean? What do you mean? Edit your TikToks better.
So 18 is the youngest you'd go? Yeah. You don't see any issues with that, having that much of an age gap? No, she can join the military, she can buy a gun. Hey, wait a minute, what the hell? She can smoke a cigarette, she can travel into the world, she's an adult. I mean, what would you, 43-year-old man, have in common with an 18-year-old woman? Sexual attraction. Confidence, experience, protection, provision. And you feel like you'd be able to provide more for her than a guy her age would? Absolutely. 100%.
This motherfucker
Don't miss. So why does society frown upon that then?
I don't think society does. I think older women who have already run their course, they've already girl bossed too close to the sun, and they're upset with it. And these women have more of a voice than they ever had. Actually, let me take that back. Women have always had a voice. It's just these women, they don't want to use their voice through the energy over emotion of their man. That's what women used to do. They used to just say, oh, I sure wish I had that planet over there. I like that planet. Oh, well, I guess I'll never have it. And then your man would be like, what? And go conquer that planet and bring it to you. That still exists, but they're acting like, no, women, you can just go over there and get the planet yourself. You can, but the women, they don't even want to go do that. It's like, the hassle. Just I'll send somebody. So women, now looking back on their choices in life, looking at this younger model of her, and these women feel some kind of way. But not my audience. My audience is attractive women. I see them in the comments. They be having their little avatars, and goodness gracious, I be having to ask them in the DMs, yo, how old are you? They be like, how do I look? Honestly, not a day over 21. You're sweet. That's sweet. I bet you real sweet. We finna find out. You keep sending me these messages.
There's a lot of men that have their children and always want to view them as their little girl, but they're not.
Wait, what?
The biblical verse is that when a man or a woman becomes of age, you leave your parents. And now you're an adult to choose to cling to somebody else. To become one. That's what sex is, becoming one with somebody.
But then there's also these guys who feel like this is my daughter and no man's ever good for her, which is kind of whack because you're not going to marry her. And if you are, gross. And she wants to go off and go live her life. I love how he put the Bible in there.
When Satan was cast to the earth, the Bible says he was then titled the God of this world.
Who titled him the God of this world? I can't really see God calling another entity a God. Especially since we know, according to the Old Testament, that God is a jealous God. Allegedly, he's a jealous God. So my question is, who titled Satan the God of anything? Interesting. Well, that's all we got for today. Tune in again. We'll do it again.